Yeah, we'll see. I very much just wonder how, for one, obviously how they'll adapt, and I just wonder. I wonder how, especially how, as an Ices player, you deal with like a match, like a situation like this, where it's like a Peach and a Sheik that play quite like they play quite as like a whole. They play quite, I don't know. I wouldn't say campy. I feel like campy can be a bit of a pejorative word, but like, you know, relatively defensively, how to really get into that, because I feel like the team that they played before was a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this will manifest itself. But
you really see it during the set as well, how I4 is able to control the ground, immediately going on the stage, and Fecfec being able to control the air, right?
Yeah.
They're definitely playing towards the strengths of both of their characters, but I see a surprise pick.
I see Puff.
I see and I see the GG tag. It might be a shout out to GG from the UK. Shout out to her, our goat. Do you think the Puff will work? I mean, I don't know about Fuzzy. Like, I know his Fox is really good, and I know his secondaries are also probably really good, but I think this might just be a Hail Mary already.
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely quite an old school player play, where playing secondaries and doubles. I feel like a lot of older players are definitely like, kind of like sometimes mix and match mix and match characters. Like, you'll see people who don't really play Fox in singles pick up as Fox secondary. You'll see them play Peach, maybe Puff. You'll see them play like weird characters to like kind of just fit the matchup a bit better. So I think that's fair. I've never really seen him play Puff before, so I don't know how well it will work. But I do admire, or like I do feel like it also just generally works in doubles a bit more, because you don't need as much of a refined punish game. You just need a good feel for knockback and what your teammates doing, and be able to hit those ping pong combos. So it can work.
I think picking the Puff really like limits you to one style, especially with Ices. As I said, Fecfec is controlling the air, I4 is controlling the stage, right? So then you, as the Puff, have to contest Fecfec in the air. But Fuzzy just being a tad too aggressive, trying to get in a little bit too much, which is not something you want to do as Puff, especially versus two characters who can make you blow up relatively quickly.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely it can definitely be quite awkward, especially because I know Fecfec also has played like people like there's a decent amount of like Puffs and like weird floaties in the south of France. So she's definitely played these like really slow grinding matchups before. So she's probably quite good, or at least used to be able to have to play Puffs and have to be able to pull back like very slightly so that bear barely misses, because that can be quite awkward. And it's like if you can do those little mini spacings with your drift and with your floats, I mean, it can make it look like Peach wins against Puff, which can be quite.
That's hard to do.
Could be considered quite a controversial statement. But right now, like it's definitely.
I4 and Fecfec are very content with that Fuzzyness picked Puff, having a strong showing with stocks versus 2 at the moment, and just not.
All right.
Well,
my bad.
Yeah. 4 stocks.
Let's look at this again. We will reassess this right now. Let's see what's going on. It's definitely also just rough to be in like a position where you're kind of down like this, because they're not going to overextend. They're not like, it's like, listen, we're up 2 stocks, Peach Sheik, listen, I'm not going to sit here and run down my stock. What I'm going to do is going to wait for you to come in, and then this Ice is going to have to hold this down air.
And you know the one thing about Puff, she has the X factor in the rest, and the one moment they were able to go for a rest, UnHaven accidentally did a throw input where Fuzzyness missed the rest. So that one X factor, which should be able to swing many stocks, didn't work out. So I really hope that Fuzzy maybe considers how can I use this Puff better. But it might be that Dreamland is the play, and we'll see how they use this stage, especially the amount of room in the air.
Not a good start.
Not a good start. Nice try. But
Nana, please hit. Oh, okay,
you know what I like?
Yes.
Most players would hit the Puff right there.
Yes.
Sleeping. But Fecfec and I4 just ignored the Puff and immediately went on UnHaven. You know,
for sure.
Puff is sleeping for 3 seconds. Why should we? We can't kill her. She's 40%. We go on UnHaven, stack up damage, get more of a lead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely if you're in a position, if you're not playing like a character that has those really early kill setups like Marth or Fox, it's like you might as well just kind of let it wait out, especially against an Ices, where even if you don't really like get the cleanest combo, you might get a Nana kill, and a Nana kill is still extremely high value. that bear off stage killing, that is crazy. But they're definitely they're definitely getting a little bit done with this extra space and this extra survivability that they're having.
Yep.
But it's still quite rough. Like, there, UnHaven gets in, gets the grab, and then immediately gets counter hit, and like, Fuzzyness can't really do much because Puff is not fast enough.
Nope. And again, they're just ignoring, like, we can't edgeguard Puff, we'll just go on UnHaven again. He's like a nice meal on the stage, and we can take a bite out of him.
Exactly. I mean, it's definitely quite a different dynamic to the previous sets that they've played, where it's more like, I feel like it's Fuzzy kind of going in, and now UnHaven has to actually make a lot more happen on his own, and then kind of like set up for Fuzzy to get maybe like a rest and get more stuff going.
Yep.
So it's a bit different. I do feel like UnHaven is trying his best because, as you can see, i4 Fecfec have not seemed the most interested in actually killing the Puff. So it's basically just like Fuzzy trying to get stray hits and UnHaven trying his best to get kills.
Yeah, no, for sure. And when the Puff is swatted away, once you're on UnHaven really does his best getting those two players off of him. But it's so hard as Ices. How can you get a Peach and a Sheik off of you?
It's so rough. Like, even if you get them off of you, it's like you've sacrificed Nana for it, or like you have to do these like really committal options. And it's like, there's no real like great option. There's not like it's just, you have to be able to know which one it is. Oh,
that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it's 160%, but UnHaven's been doing so well at keeping his stocks alive, it still sucks.
It still sucks, but especially like you miss your ledge dash and you're like, damn, I could have ledge dash down smash there.
Exactly.
And it's still, because it's such a grinding game, even though it's 160, you might be able to survive for a bit longer, get a bit, like a few hits in. Even though your kill percent, you can still contribute, right?
For sure. Honestly, as much as I feel like it hasn't been going amazing in this game, I do feel like this game has been a lot better than the first game. I feel like they're definitely getting a bit of a Fuzzyness and UnHaven getting a bit of tempo going. It's still quite rough because I feel like I think that they don't have the same synergy that they have with Fox Ices as they do with Puff Ices, but I do feel like that's unfortunate to not be able to get the recovery there, but I do feel like they're making it kind of work, but they just need to get those small little margins up, and that's just quite hard when you play against such a well-rehearsed team.
Yeah, I think the amount of space really does help, but it also does help both i4 and Fecfec. Them being able to space around the Puff instead, and giving them so much more space once they swat the Puff away, hit the Puff away, and then they have so much more time.
For sure. Definitely when you are, when you're in, and also definitely like in the early parts of the game when the lead is quite small, it's like, you know, you're reaping, but then suddenly you're down 2 stocks. It's like, oh no, what's the trick to skip sowing, please? It's like, I'd like the part where like it was an advantageous position and not where the part where I'm now behind and now I'm just kind of crying. It's like,
I mean, I like the idea. I respect the idea. I didn't like the idea. I respect the idea. I don't like the idea.
That's a strong word
That's a strong word.
Respect might be a bit too much for that, but
we consider the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's consider it. Not respect, not liking.
I thought about it for a second, and I was like, I let out a little chuckle. Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm amused.
I mean, even if it had hit, right?
Yes.
It would have been the sickest move ever.
Oh, 100%. So we're gonna go Fox.
For the Fox.
First stadium, fair enough. This is definitely the characters combo that feels like they, at least Fuzzyness and UnHaven on paper have, you know, the most synergy with. So we'll see how it works out. It is stadium, so that might also work out pretty decently. But we got a little wobble going, little handoff action. Oh, doesn't quite get the hit though.
Trying to go for the bear, but Fecfec being able to clean up with i4 being ready to clean up the rest.
Yep. Oh, I like the ice blocks. I love the ice blocks.
That's really smart of UnHaven to use the ice blocks there as a saving mechanism for Fuzzyness.
Yeah, to be able to quickly make the decision to get the desynced ice blocks is actually, I feel like that's definitely like something that must be some like fifth instinct, like fucking like Ices thing. Like, I got that.
And it's also something like, that's the thing Ices has to do right over there. They can't go off stage to save the person, so a decent ice block, but being able to perform that in a pretty fast pace, you have my respect, UnHaven.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely looking pretty decent. UnHaven obviously just now losing a stock, but it's definitely quite even. I think that, if anything, I was like, they're keeping it together a lot because I think the very start started quite poorly because Fuzzy almost like immediately fell off stage.
Yep.
But then somehow it kept his stock alive, and I feel like that's just like you need to be able to match the amount that they keep their stocks alive as Fuzzyness and UnHaven, because Sheik lives forever, Peach lives forever, and it's just like, you need to just like make sure you don't get like these little awkward situations where you're off stage and you need to be able to save your teammate all the time, and then just be able to get these kills.
Yep.
And it's definitely like, can be rough, but I mean, they're kind of making it work. It's definitely quite close.
Yeah, for sure.
And these icy stocks are somehow
still living.
Just they keep living forever, and I don't know how. All right, yep.
Oh, right.
That's a bit awkward. Doesn't
that
kill
was
fully.
Very awkward, and Fuzzy getting punished for doing the up smash, which was the correct option for him to do. But just being a bit too late and unable having to throw that move out.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate swing. If they get that kill, it's like relatively even stocks-wise. Instead, they have a little bit of a deficit. They are both really, really weak. It's all very high percent. And both these characters obviously have absurdly good kill moves. Got a little bear going. And then this should be out. So that's clean. Only one stock deficit. That is very, very real, especially with, I don't know, the random things that Ices can do to just delete your stock randomly.
And they probably have to kind of focus a bit on the Sheik player, right?
Yes.
Especially if you want to use the Ices, you can't focus down the Peach. Peach being able to float around, avoiding the Ices. But doing a good job and maybe getting this edge guard into for I4. But Fecfec
I like that.
I like that.
That save was really smart. Yeah, like seeing, like just kind of, it's very risky, but it does just work. Just like, oh, my opponent's or my teammate's kind of cornered. I guess I just kind of have to go for this like weird dare and hope that they don't read it. And it has to be like the most 5-head play to be able to read that and like cover it. Like I don't think I would blame anyone for not seeing that coming.
Nope.
They get the little 1v2 going.
They are always ready for each other, I4 and Fecfec, for both saving each other, but also trying to get edge guards. But it's a shine by Fuzzy. Maybe he's able to clean up this stop.
Oh, the down smash.
Ooh, the shield stun from the up B. But now Fecfec and I4 first on UnHaven. UnHaven has a tall hill to climb. He does have Nana. Maybe he can make something happen with her.
I just try to go for the straight Sopo kill. They don't actually quite get it, and Donna does not get killed. So it does give UnHaven a little extra chance for a little stopping power.
Ooh, getting the meteor on the forward air. Might have saved her.
Okay, this is just getting very weird.
Nana's really trying to save her sister, therefore.
But that's
unfortunately,
yes,
that's GG's for I4 and Fecfec. Congratulations for winning SUP.
Yeah, SUP doubles.
This was
very
doubles.
solid. Yeah, solid showing. Very solid showing. I don't think this is a particular surprise. I think people were definitely expecting this,
another dollar.
But it's definitely a very dominant showing. I think people weren't expecting them to just go through the whole bracket. I think dropping no games or something. Or like
I don't think they've dropped any games.
Which is very, very impressive. Very consistent showing.